Diane, are you comfortable? If you're comfortable, we can proceed with today's video. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Audrey. I'm a psychic medium. Surprise! If you didn't know that, I'm a psychic. I'm here. Okay, so my videos are based on psychic information, and I talk a lot about murder cases, but I talk about other stuff as well. So thanks for checking out this video. We are going to touch on the Lori Vallow trial that's going on. But first, before we get into anything else, what do? We hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. As soon as we get to 1,000 subscribers, we can start going live. I can do live shows like this, but live, and we can interact, and I can answer you and talk, and it's like you're in the room with me. So I used to do that on my old YouTube channel. It was very popular. I would have like 700-800 people in the room at a time, and it's just a blast. It's really fun, and I love our community that we're building here. So let's keep it going. All right, and then share the videos. It's very easy to share. And all these buttons and stuff I'm asking you to press are down here. This is just a visual reminder. The like button, subscribe, and share buttons are all right down here. So thanks for doing all of that first. Also, check out my vintage jewelry shop, vintageenvy.com. These are Heidi Doss earrings. Yeah, I have bracelets, necklaces, earrings. I don't have any rings yet, but prices vary. I have a fair few of items around the $25 price range, all the way up to $500. So I try and put a variety of different things on the website for you. Also, go to Instagram. I did a little quick commercial on my Instagram page. So if you can find me on Instagram, Audrey Briggs 68, find me there. Follow me there. I show you little snippets of my husband, little snippets of Jonathan and the cats, and just my general life behind the scenes while I'm not filming YouTube stuff. So check me out there too. Yay! All right. So before we talk about the Maddie McCann case, I want to really fast just talk about the Lori J. Bell nightmare going on. So I feel like maybe I wasn't clear in my last video, maybe just based on some comments. Nothing bad, but I just want to be perfectly transparent. I really need to be transparent with anything I talk about. So it's important to me that you know what I meant, and what I still mean is Lori may not have put her hands on Tylee or JJ or Charles, but she is the reason they are dead, as well as Chad's wife. And well, I don't know about Alex. I'm not sure who killed Alex. I don't think it was a suicide, but Lori, in my opinion, should be given the death penalty, as should Chad. They're in Idaho, and we know what the punishment in Idaho is. It's the firing squad. That's the death sentence these days in Idaho. The state of Idaho is to be executed by firing squad, to be killed by gunshots. Oh yeah, that's not going to feel good, Lori. That's not going to feel good at all. It's probably going to burn. It's going to be painful. You're probably going to lose your breath a little bit. It's going to be awful. It's going to be your worst nightmare. Honestly, it's probably worse than hell, because I've seen hell from spirits, and it's nothing like a firing squad. Okay? So think about yourself before you start murdering people. So 100% Lori and Chad are responsible for the death of Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, and possibly and probably Alex as well. All right, so I just wanted to throw that out there. There's not much for me to talk about on that case. It's just a matter of going through the motions and the trial. And if there's a mistrial or the case gets thrown out, oh my God, the world better be ready to let that crazy out into the world. She's not rehabilitated. She's not going to stop. She's a hustler. And I don't mean the kind of hustler like we are, where we're trying to hustle and take care of our family and, you know, make side money here and there. I'm not talking about that kind of hustler. I'm talking about a professional con man type of hustler. And she's dangerous. She's very dangerous. And so is Chad, and that whole garbage they have going on with that, the books and the weird religion antics and stuff. So I wish we were in the courtroom, though. I feel like my rights are being violated because I don't have eyes on the courtroom. I really want to see spirits coming. I got to open this. This doesn't happen unless I'm channeling. So, who's going to come in? Who's here? Who's coming in? I do this when I'm home alone. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do these videos when I'm home alone. Mostly home alone when I do videos. All right, so let's get back into the Maddie McCann case. This is that case that is from the UK. Well, it's from Portugal, but the family's from the UK. They went on vacation to Portugal. They had 3 kids, Maddie, and then a set of twins. And Maddie disappeared one night while the family was out to dinner. Check out the other videos leading up to today's video. There's part 1, 2, and 3, and this should be part 4, if my brain remembers correctly, which it doesn't always. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. Okay. Let's get back into this. So again, I printed out a 12-page partial article from, well, it's not an article. I keep calling it an article, but it's just a Wikipedia article, I guess. Let me just show you what the front page looks like. So I just went to Wikipedia on Google. It was much more than 12 pages, but I didn't print out the rest of it. So if I need to print out the rest of it, depending on what's in here, I will go back and do that for us. Okay. So, excuse me. Now, I'm wondering if this is Maddie, because coming into my presence, Maddie came into my presence, I believe it was the last episode. She appeared as almost angelic, I want to say. And her state of consciousness, it's very unique, and it doesn't, I know it's her because I can feel her, but she's presenting as something different. She's presenting as an older person, maybe teenage years, mid teenage years, and very wispy, very soft, very angelic, and just very at peace. And it's interesting. I've never seen another spirit like this, because it's clearly not an angel. It's not my spirit guide. My spirit guide's always over here. It's not someone from a different case or anything like that. The thing that's interesting to me is she's kind of half in, half out. She can talk, she can communicate with me, but then she's also her eyes are closing sometimes, like her eyes kind of, like almost like she's praying kind of thing. Okay, hold on, she's talking. So, this is interesting, you guys. And I love doing these videos so you can watch me react in real time to spirit. This is the real deal. This is channeling. This is communicating with the dead right now. Okay, she's very calming. She's still here, just kind of floating. When I mentioned that she looks kind of like she's praying, she gave me the chills, which is confirmation for yes. That's my own thing, but I have heard other people starting to say that. But that's just my thing where I say that the chills are my confirmation yes. Okay. So getting the chills is very, it's used a lot during channeling for me. Okay, let me look at her. Beautiful goldenish brown hair. I don't know what to think of her. She's nothing I've seen before. And I'm asking, okay, did God make you do you have a different sort of job, or have you become like a different creature on the other side, like an angel or some sort of authority or something? I've just never seen a being like this, but I know it's her. And I mentioned before, she feels protected. Not to say that it's not safe on the other side. So I'm not sure. I could ponder on this for hours, and I do when I'm off camera. That's all I do is ponder spirits. Okay. I think this is where we left off. So again, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, watch at least episode 3 before watching this episode. Okay. So I'm going to start off right here. And it says, Portugal sends a letter rogatory. I should have Googled rogatory before I started. I don't know what that means. Maybe I'll figure it out. Okay, I've not read this before. On June 28th, 2007, the McCanns suggested to the police that they request help from Diane Kruger, a South African former police officer who had developed a matter orientation system, a handheld device that he claimed could locate missing people using DNA and satellites. Sounds nuts, but there's been more crazy things than that on the planet. On hearing about this years later, one scientist said it had caused his BS detector to go off on a scale. So they're calling bull. They're calling. Okay. I hope I didn't read this paragraph in the last video. Okay. Kate, who's Maddie's mom, Kate wrote in 2011 that Kruger's claim made no sense, but the couple were desperate. I bet. Yeah, your child's missing and you're very desperate very quickly. In the second week of June, they sent Kruger hair and eyelashes from Maddeline's collect. God, I feel like I read this on the last thing. All right. If I read this already, I apologize. I'll keep going and just keep going. All right. Okay, so mom provided these people with eyelash and hair samples from the family home. Kruger arrived in Praia del Luz on July 15th and told the McCanns his equipment had picked up a static signal in an area of the beach near the Roca Negra cliff. The officer in charge of the police inquiry, Inspector Gonzalo Amaral, interpreted Kate's support of Kruger as a ploy. I think I read this already. By this point, he believed the McCanns were involved in the disappearance and that Kate was using Kruger. She had also considered using psychics to disclose the location of her daughter's body without compromising herself. With this in mind, the police sent a letter rotatory to the British police to ask for assistance in their search for Maddeline's body. In response, Mark Harrison, the National Search Advisor for the NPIA, arrived in Praia del Luz, walked around the search areas, and flew over them by helicopter. Describing Kruger's ideas as highly unlikely, Harrison's report dated July 23, 2007, said that 100 officers had searched up to 9.3 miles around Praia del Luz, but that the officer in charge and most of the team had no training in search procedures, with the exception of a search and rescue team for Lisbon. Search dogs had been used, but after 5 days instead of within 2 days as the handlers recommend. Yes, I mentioned this last time too. The first 48, don't these people watch the first 48 and understand how crucial the first 48 hours are? Harrison suggested searching the beach and shoreline, an open area near the village, Robert Murat's property, apartment 5A, the Tapas 7's apartment, and any hired vehicles. He recommended using ground penetrating radar and bringing in Keela and Eddie, 2 Springer Spaniel sniffer dogs from South Yorkshire. Animals are absolutely amazing in their abilities to do these things like a cadaver dog or just finding the sense of somebody and finding people. All right, this next section is called British Sniffer Dogs Arrive. Keela was a forensic investigation dog trained to give her handler, Martin Grime, a passive alert to the scent of human blood by tracing her nose close to the spot, then freezing in that position. Eddie was an enhanced victim recovery dog, or cadaver dog, who gave a bark alert to the scent of human cadavers, including shortly after the death of the subject, even if the remains were buried, incinerated, or in water. He was trained to bark only in response to that scent and not for any other reason. The dogs arrived in Praia del Luz on July 31st, 2007, and were taken to apartment 5A. That's the apartment where the McCanns were staying in Portugal, nearby wasteland and the beach. Both dogs alerted behind in the sofa in the living room of 5A, and Eddie gave an alert near the wardrobe in the main bedroom. All right, so let's think about that. Quite a few of you have commented about that Madeline was killed in the apartment there. There's a few different ways you guys have mentioned. Because let's see, if she was kidnapped, if she was abducted, Madeline, there shouldn't be anything for the cadaver dogs to find, right? There would be no death to find, right? Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we're going through this. I'm like the nosy old lady neighbor now. Who was that? What are you doing? What's happening? What are you looking at? I don't trust anybody. Okay, sorry. There were no alerts on the beach or wasteland. The police obtained warrants to search the house the McCanns had rented on the Rua das Flores and the Silver Renault Scenic the couple had hired 24 days after Madeline went missing. The house and grounds were searched on August 2nd. The only alert was from Eddie when he encountered Cuddle Cat. That was Madeline's toy, which was lying in the living room. Keila did not give an alert. The police left the boxes of the McCanns' clothes, Cuddle Cat, a pair of latex gloves, suitcases, a notepad, 2 diaries, including one that Kate had started after the disappearance, and a friend's Bible she had borrowed. A passage the Bible's owner had marked from 2 Samuel about the death of a child was copied into the police case file along with Portuguese translation. The items were taken to another location where Eddie alerted his handler to one of the boxes of clothes. A source close to the McCanns' lawyers told reporters that if there was indeed a smell of corpses on Kate's clothes, it could have been caused by her contact with corpses as a family doctor. But how, okay, so that would mean Kate would have had just been working and had a patient that died that day? No, thank you. Nope. No. The police removed the Renault, and on August 6th, Keila and Eddie were taken to an underground car park opposite. Okay, let me stop right there. A car park is what my husband calls a parking lot. So for us Americans, it's a parking lot, but my husband calls it a car park. I'm like, what's a car park? What are you talking about? Car park? No. Okay, they're using the same terms as my husband. Opposite the police headquarters in Portimao, where 10 cars were parked 20 to 30 feet apart, including the McCanns and Murats. Eddie, the cadaver dog, gave an alert outside the McCanns' car by the driver's door. The next morning, Keila alerted to the rear driver's side of the boot, the trunk. And the map compartment in the driver's door, okay, which contained the ignition key and key ring. When the key ring was hidden underneath sand in a fire bucket, she alerted again, as she did when the bucket was moved to a different floor of the car park. Excuse me. Almost immediately, the Portuguese press began running stories that Madeline had died inside the apartment. So as I'm reading this and I'm just kind of thinking about what I just read, I'm also at the same time talking to Spirit, asking for, oh, is that true? Is that what happened? Is that right? Is that, I'm not seeing it. I am not getting any confirmation from Spirit that she died in the apartment. Could she have died in the apartment? Of course. I'm just saying right now, I don't have confirmation. So I can't say for certain that I believe she died in the apartment. I'm just looking. I'm looking over here and thinking about what I just read about the apartment, the parents' main bedroom with the closet in there. And as I'm going over these visions in my head, I'm just kind of asking Spirit again, can you confirm yes or no? Spirit's like, yeah, I see what you're talking about. I see the areas. Yeah, that's the apartment. Yeah, there it is. There's my cuddle cat. There's the living room. There's my parents' room. That's the kind of communicating I'm getting back. Not in that tone necessarily. I just saw something flash right here. I'll have to check and see if that shows up as an orb or something. And I am getting the chills. So let's keep going. I don't have any answers yet. Okay. British DNA analysis. Hair and other fibers were collected from areas in the car and apartment 5A where Keela and Eddie had given alerts and were sent to the Forensic Science Services. I have a pie in the oven. I gotta keep my eye on it. Maybe I should go check it. Jonathan likes to have pumpkin pie all the time. All right, let me go check on my pie. Hold on. My grandma taught me that when you smell something baking in the oven, if you smell it, then it's probably ready. But it's not ready. It's got a ways to go. So, yum, yum. Okay. Keela and Eddie had given alerts and were sent to the Forensic Science Services in Birmingham for DNA profiling, arriving around August 8th, 2007. At this point, according to the Sunday Times, the police abandoned the abduction theory. On August 8th, without waiting for the results from Birmingham, Portuguese police called the McCanns to a meeting in Portimao where, I can't say this name, Guillermo Cariaco. Sorry. I'll put his name here. Okay, so this cop was there. He was the regional director, and Louis Neves, the coordinator of Lisbon. We're told that the case is now a murder inquiry. When I can't say these names. They're too difficult. All right, let me just kind of skip. So this guy died of stomach cancer in 2010. The Daily Telegraph identified him as a major source of the leaks against the McCanns. Both of the McCanns were interrogated that day. The officers suggested that Kate's memory was faulty. Well, Kate's memory was probably faulty due to the fact that her husband was telling her to lie. That's my opinion. That's what I've been shown from Spirit. Mr. McCann is hiding something. The FSS used a technique known as the low copy number testing, used when only a few cells are available. The test is controversial because it is vulnerable to contamination and misinterpretation. On September 3rd, John Lowe of the FSS emailed Detective Superintendent Stewart, prior of the Leicestershire police, the liaison officer between the British and the Portuguese authorities, Lowe told Pryor that a sample from the car trunk, contained 15 out of 19 of Maddeline's DNA components, and that the result was too complex for meaningful interpretation. Well, see, I don't know. I mean, if it can... Hair is DNA. Hair can 100% identify somebody. So if there was hair, I mean, they're not saying where the DNA was. What was the DNA on? You know, what kind of DNA is not just generally floating around, you know, in the air and stuff. It's a physical thing, DNA. It's an actual thing that you can touch. So I know what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that she was murdered and put in the trunk. But no, I don't, no. I don't think that's the case. She was murdered, but I don't think she was put in this trunk. This case is the most wacky thing I've ever read about, ever. A complex LCN number DNA result, which appeared to have originated from at least 3 people, was obtained from cellular material. Oh, here we go. Recovered from the luggage compartment section. Within the DNA profile of Maddeleine McCann, there are no DNA components represented by 19 peaks on the chart. Of these 19 components, 15 are present within the result from this item. There are 37 components in total. There are 37 components because there are at least 3 contributors, but there could be up to 5 contributors. In my opinion, therefore, this result... I hear the fighter planes flying over. This result is too complex for meaningful interpretation / inclusion. We cannot answer the question, is the match genuine or is it a chance match? Okay. Can you hear that? I love military airplanes. Oh my gosh. Incredible. Okay. All right, this next section is called McCann's Made Argudos. Argudos, I think we've seen that word before. Okay, Lowe's email was translated into Portuguese on September 4th, 2007. The next day, according to Kate, the police proposed that if she were to admit that Madeline had died in an accident in the apartment and that she had hidden the body, she might have only served a 2-year sentence. Her husband would not be charged and would be free to leave. What? Why? Both parents were given argudo, which I think is suspicion status. Suspicion. Both parents were given suspicion status September 7th and were advised by their lawyer not to answer questions. The police told Jerry that Maddeline's DNA had been found in the car boot and behind the sofa in the apartment. Jerry did respond to the questions, but Kate declined to reply to 48 questions she was asked during an 11-hour interview. Well, Kate, that's a suspicious behavior. That's something you do when you have something to hide, or clearly something you don't want to talk about. So that doesn't make somebody look good. It doesn't make a suspect look good at all. The DNA evidence was a, quote, 100% match, unquote. Journalists in Portugal were told British tabloid headlines included corpse in McCann car. While the Daily Star reported that a clump of Maddie's hair had been found in the car, the leaks came directly from Portuguese police. According to testimony in 2012 from Jerry Lawton, a Daily Star reporter to the Leavesden Inquiry, Matt Baggett of the Leicestershire Police told the inquiry that because the Portuguese were in charge of the case, he had to make a decision not to correct reporters. His force's priority, he said, was to maintain a good relationship with the police with a view to find Madeline. Oh, God. I don't even know what to say. Okay, hold on, I'm itchy. Should I sit back here? Okay, it's been 10 or 15 minutes of that pie. Okay. I'm going to sit back here for a minute. I'm still here. McCann's return to the UK. Despite their suspicion status, the McCanns were allowed to leave Portugal and on legal advice did so immediately, arriving back in England on September 9th, 2007. The following day, Chief Inspector Tavares de Almeida of the police in Portugal signed a 9-page report concluding that Madeline had died in apartment 5A as a result of an accident. That the restaurant meal and apparent regular checks on the McCann children had been a part of the cover-up. That the Tapas 7 had helped to mislead the police, and that the McCanns had concealed the child's body before faking an abduction. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to prison to lie for a friend who accidentally killed her kid. So that means the McCanns themselves would have to convince these other 5 adults to go along with them that they accidentally killed Madeline, and we're going to all cover it up. No. An 11-page document from the Information Analysis Brigade in Lisbon analyzed alleged discrepancies in the McCanns' statements. On September 11th, the public prosecutor, Jose Cunha de So-and-so, handed the 10-volume case file to Judge Pedro Miguel So-and-so. Meneses applied for the seizure of Kate's diaries and Jerry's laptop. The police also wanted to trace telephone calls between the McCanns and the Tapas 7, and there were details in the report about the number of suitcases the McCanns and their friends had taken back to England. On September 28, 2007, according to a diplomatic cable published by WikiLeaks in 2010, the United States ambassador to Portugal, Al Hoffman, wrote about a meeting he had had with the British ambassador to Portugal, Alexander Ellis. On September 21st, 2007, the cable said, quote, without delving into the details of the case, Ellis admitted that the British police had developed the current evidence against the McCann parents, and he stressed that authorities from both countries were working cooperatively. He commented that the media frenzy was to be expected and was accepted as long as the government officials kept their comments behind closed doors. Control Risks, a British security company, paid by an anonymous donor to assist the McCanns since May 7th, 2007, took hair samples from the McCann twins on September 24th, 2007, at their parents' request. The twins had slept through the commotion in apartment 5A after Madeline was reported missing. Kate wrote that she was concerned the abductor might have given the children sedatives. According to the police files, Kate had asked them to take samples 3 months after the disappearance, but they had not done so. Control Risks took a sample from Kate too, but rebut allegations that she was on medication. No traces of drugs were found. We will stop there for today. Well, they're both doctors of different kind, Mr. and Mrs. McCann. I think the kids slept through it all because they gave them Benadryl or some sort of sedative. I'm waiting for Spirit. It's just so freaking chaotic. The lies are chaotic. The paperwork is chaotic. The inconsistencies are chaotic. Where's the truth? That's what I'm trying to get to through channeling Spirit. There's more to read about here. Plus, I know there's probably a lot more elsewhere on the internet as well. I know a few of you guys have mentioned that I should hook up with Armchair Detective. I'm not going to hook up with AD yet. I don't know if I will. Yeah. I just want my experience to be organic and my own. And so to make that happen, I really don't want any outside information. Anyway, not right now. So, that was difficult to read. It's difficult to read English that uses different words than what we use. And even though I'm half Mexican, I can't read these names to save my life. I can't read these names to save. None of my relatives have these kind of names at all. Anyway, thank you for watching today. Please put your comments below. Please subscribe. We're getting there one by one to 1,000 subscribers. And don't forget to like the video, share the video, check me out on Instagram. You can see little snippets of my hubby here and there in Instagram. And my cats and Johnny and everything else that's going on. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I'll see you in the next video. You guys stay safe. I'll see you soon. Ciao.